everyone. Welcome to Chaplin Talks. I've got a very, very, very exciting guest today. Not only is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he founded one of the greatest bands ever, the Jackson 5. He's a fantastic guitarist. He's an amazing singer. Tito Jackson, welcome to Chaplin Talks.
Yeah, how are you doing there, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
I can't complain. Life has been great. It's been very well.
Tell me, you founded the Jackson 5, right? Pretty much. I mean, weren't you caught playing your dad's guitar or something?
Yeah. Well, they put that title on me, Basically, I probably was I was the first kid who didn't obey my father's rules, and probably first kid that showed talent in the family as far as musical instrument ability. But we were singing country songs. We had about two or three songs that we used to sing with my mother because she loved country. And then when she washed dishes, she would sing these songs, and Jackie and Jermaine and myself would harmonize, with her, because we learned how to harmonize from watching old shows like the Three Stooges, and that's the kind of thing. But my father and his brother, Uncle Luther, used to get together every weekend and play guitars, play blues music and this and that. And I used to stare at it and wish I could do that, but my father had a rule: don't nobody touch his guitar, and that's where that whole thing came in. And so I went against the rules and played the guitar every day. And my mother would let me play it. She would let me sneak it out of the closet he kept it in, and she would let me, play it. And one day I broke the string. I had been playing this guitar for months, almost practically a year, and I broke a string, and that's how I got caught. And I was very scared. She said, just put it, your dad's going to be home soon. Just put it back in the closet. I'll talk to him. Before she could talk to him, he went to the closet to play his guitar and saw that broken string. And he called all of us in the room and pulled out his guitar and asked who's been, playing the guitar. And this whole thing, who broke my, who... And I started crying. He said, boy, get in the room. You go to the bedroom, because we were in the living room. That means you're going to get it. So anyway, he got me real good and put me back in front of the living room where everybody was and fixed the string, put another string on it and said to me, boy, show me what you know. Because my mother told him I wasn't playing with the guitar. I was actually playing the guitar.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And he knows a few songs and this and that. My father didn't want to hear none of that at the time. He punished me for basically not obeying. So anyway, I'm playing and crying and, playing with this little thing I know or whatever. And he looked at my mother and said, Kate, this boy really can play. She said, I told you, Joe, he's not playing your guitar. He really wants to play the guitar. He said, I tell you what, my father said, I tell you what, you can have that there guitar. I'll get myself another one.
Wow.
So he said, but I want you to learn every song you like on the radio and practice every day and hard. So I started playing songs I like, Temptations, Motown, and all these songs. And I would play these songs. And of course, Jackie and Jermaine knew the lyrics and stuff because we all liked these songs.
Yeah.
So they singing them. They started singing these songs when I'm playing the guitar and we singing and playing. And that's how we started our little group. And Michael and Marlon were babies. They were like really, really young. They were like 3-4 years old. They were still playing with toys, rolling little plastic cars across the floor and stuff like that. and begging to be in the group, but acting like little babies and begging though. We tell them to get out the room. You're too young, you're not ready. This is big boy stuff, and until one day we heard Michael sing, he was at his elementary school, which we all went to that school at the same time. I was I think I was in about 5th, 6th grade, something like that. And Jermaine was in the 5th grade. Jackie maybe had just gone to junior high school, 7th grade or something like that, maybe. And Michael was in the school. School have like auditorium plays, and the whole school goes to the auditorium and see a play or concert or whatever. So Michael got up there and sung this song. I forget the name of the song, but he tore it up, and we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe what our ears were hearing. We didn't even know it was our brother, And so we rushed him home and told him, "You're in the group." You're in the group, Marlon. Me too, me too, me too. He said, "Both of y'all in the group." So that's what we did. We started doing our thing, singing together as 5 brothers. and my father found out that we were singing and had talent because he used to go to work, and he worked all night, the night shift, and he gets home somewhere around 6 in the morning, and he's tired as heck. We in the room making all kind of noise, and he don't want to hear nothing but sleep, He's telling us to be quiet in that room. Shut up, be quiet, you're making too much noise, and this and that. And my mom is the one that said, "Joe, you ought to listen to them. I think they have some talent. Kate, those boys can't sing. They ain't got no talent." No, I really think they have some, Joe. You should really listen to them. So one day we decided, to sing for our father and do whatever we were doing. And he loved it. His next paycheck, he went and bought all kinds of things, microphones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he bought microphones and amps and guitars and all kind of stuff. And we used to come home from school. The moment we got home from school, he have all these amps and mics on standby in the living room. Moved all the furniture out and stacked it in the corner, because the place was very, very tiny. And we would rehearse, until, we got tired or whatever, until we started, the gigs started coming. And we would rehearse like that before we had gigs, if it was in Chicago or New York or what have you, where, we would rehearse before our shows. And while we were rehearsing, the kids walking home from school would stop and fight over positions in the window so they could peek in and see what we were doing. And
wow.
That whole, so it was, we didn't know that was the beginning of our career, but it was a lot of fun and a lot of work too.
Yeah, of course. Because I have heard you say that in the past, you didn't, when you were growing up, you didn't really realize the impact you guys had on your fans or people. I guess you didn't know they were fans yet. So when do you think was that moment, that spark where you were like, oh, actually I'm famous?
I realized that we were getting famous early in the 70s. When we came to England, and we had thousands and thousands of fans to meet us at the airport.
Okay.
And that told me, I said, wow, we were known way over here, across the water. Because I thought we just were really doing it in America, But when I came over to England and found out that the same excitement was over there, that let me know that it's spreading all across the globe, So everywhere we went, basically, we had that response.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so
there's this iconic performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, which I guess was in the late 60s, if I'm right.
yeah, I believe it was either late 69, early 70.
Okay. I mean, when you left.
No, I want you back. I want you back. I believe came out in October of 69.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. But when you did that show, did you leave the show thinking, wow, this is like, we did a really good job? Because when you watch it, I mean, it's just unbelievable. You guys are so good on it.
Well, I remember preparing to do that. That was our first international show. And you can't get any larger than the Ed Sullivan Show.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember rehearsing vigorously for that show, and getting the costumes, and that whole period of my life is very memorable for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. And what was it like in the early days of how would you come up with song ideas? Like, take me in a room with you guys. Like, would you just sit around and just jam on the guitar sometimes?
Well, we always had loose instruments around the house, whether it be a bass, guitars, or drums, or keyboards, or what have you. So I'm not a master of pianos or things like that. You know, I play guitar, but I can, fuddle around a little bit on it. You know, so some songs were written on pianos, and some songs were written on just guitars. But what basically, and these songs, most of the songs that we came up with as a group, they were songs that maybe one person had an idea, or started a song and didn't know where to go from that point, or needed help with a song.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny, the song I had written, and I had a cabin up in the mountains in the snow in California, and it was my destiny. You know, when I wanted to get away quick, it was only an hour and a half away from my home.
Okay.
And I had a piano up there, an upright piano, and I wrote there. We were right together. We were going to Things I Do For You. That song is about my mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she does the things for people, but nobody does. Outside the family, don't too many people do things for her.
In every family, though, the mother is the big backbone of everything, for sure.
Yeah, of our family. Yes.
I've started listening to your album, Tito Time, which only came out a few years ago. It surpassed my expectations because it's got,
well, thanks.
it's got ballads on there. It's got real groovy stuff on there. And a lot of really cool other singers as well. And I absolutely loved it. And what a voice. But my question is, why did it take you why did you leave so much time to finally do something?
Well, in America, especially at that time period in my life, when my brothers were doing their solos and having solo careers and releasing records, I was working with my sons 3T, and I wanted to be around. I had 3 boys, and I wanted to be around for them because the Jackson 5 kept me so busy. And I get home and barely have time to share with them. So I had said to myself, if I start a solo too, that's going to take the little time I got with these guys, So they decided they wanted to try to follow in their uncle's footsteps. So I worked with them instead of working with myself. I said, I can always do a career later in life, or whatever, but I got to pay attention to them. So that's the main reason.
Your sons are extremely talented as well. So, I mean, when they do come to you and say, listen, we'd love to, get into a career of of performing and singing and everything. I mean, what's your reaction? Are you like, go for it, or are you?
Actually, they were really, really young. I mean, really young. TJ was barely 5 years old, maybe a little older, but I said to myself, their uncle started at that age, so that didn't deter me. Uh, 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 and so they had gone to a Jackson concert, all three of them, and they were very blown away what their father and their uncles could do. The first time them really seeing us perform, they knew we were singers, but they didn't know to what degree. And they were blown away. So when you're that young, they were all about the Jacksons. You would think it was we were Star Wars or Spider-Man or somebody, They go home, they put on our records, and they would take the brooms and things like that and pretend they were guitars. And I said to them, I looked at them, I said, y'all enjoy that. Y'all enjoy being, Dad, we want to be like you guys when we get big. And I said, well, let me tell you one thing. I said, really play the instruments. They don't use brooms and mops. They really play guitars and pianos and stuff. I say, if you want to do that, you have to learn how to play and dance and sing. I said, so I gave them instruments. I let them have free reign on my pianos and synths and guitars and stuff. And they worked. I saw they really wanted to do that. They were like real big Jackson fans. So I worked with them and got them singing and got them playing instruments, got them a couple of lessons and guitar lessons or what have you. And that's how the little group started. They worked hard for it. They worked every day, vigorously. And, I like what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, very, very, very talented guys. And didn't their uncle, didn't Michael produce their album, in the first album that came out?
They had a number of producers on it. I think Michael may have done one or two songs on there.
Amazing.
Some collaborations on it with them, and Michael's company, MJ Music, was the company that released their first record. They were on Epic Records, and Michael had heard them perform and sing and all that stuff. So he asked, could they come down to his label? Of course, that was a given.
Yeah, of course. And one thing I was very surprised with, which I absolutely loved, was I saw some amazing videos of you singing with the BB King Blues Band. And BB King is one of my idols. I mean, one of my guitar heroes, and it was just so good. I really enjoyed it. And I love blues music. And the fact that you're singing blues as well, it just makes me happy, How did you get to singing with them?
BB King is my idol too. And I've met BB on several occasions when he would come through California. I would go to the shows and hang out and talk to him and check him out and that whole thing. But as far as the blues band, they weren't doing too much after he had passed. And BB always wanted to be able to work, because BB worked almost every day of the year practically. And so they weren't doing too much. They had done something with, I think, Bonnie Raitt and maybe a few other artists. So I had gone to the museum, the BB King Museum in Indianola, Mississippi. And the main guy there, the guy by the name of Robert, he had said, I asked about the band, and he said, they're not doing nothing. And my colleague who was with me, a guy named Terry, had said, you think they would want to do a gig with Tito? And he said, that sounds like a great, fantastic idea. So he gave us numbers, and we made the call, and they jumped on it. I jumped on it, and that's how that started. But that was just a small little project that I thought would be good for myself and them as well. And right now I'm working on my solo blues album. I have a song that I did with the BB King Blues Band on this album, along with George Benson and also with BB King's daughter, Colette King. And it's really, really a nice song, which we redid a Rock Me Baby.
Oh God, I love that King song. I love that. I can't wait for that. Of course.
This is the song. Whoops.
Rock me, baby. Sing it, Tito. Rock me all night long. Oh, yeah. Rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. Ooh. Rock me, baby. Like my back ain't got no bone.
Like you're on a wagon wheel. Roll me, baby, 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 baby. Like you're on a wagon wheel. I like the way you roll it. I don't want, don't you know how it makes me feel?
Holy moly. Oh my God, that's the pipes on her.
Yeah, that's BB's daughter. Can you believe it? She has a great voice, doesn't she?
So good. I can't believe the groove you put on that is just unbelievable. And I mean, that's got you on guitar as well, you know, doing a bit of lead.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing.
We have the other gentleman singing is a gentleman by the name of Michael Lee. He the blues artist that also performed with the BB King Blues Band, and he won American Idol, I believe it was.
Ah, really?
Yes, and yes, he's very strong vocalist and guitarist as well.
Oh wow! Thank you for playing that. I mean, I can't wait to hear the album. That I cannot wait. That's going to be amazing. I play guitar as well. I want to show you quickly my guitar picks that I use.
Oh wow! Cool, man. That's nice.
Yeah.
You got to save me a couple of those.
I will. I promise.
Yeah, man.
And so I don't know if you remember your trip to Switzerland, where you came and visited the house. You and your whole family, actually.
Yes, I do. We all were Charlie Chaplin fans.
Because I was going to say that there's this great photo of all of you with the family, and then there's my family as well, and me. I must have been like 7 years old, probably younger, all in front of the house, you know? Did you say you guys watched some Charlie Chaplin stuff when you were growing up then? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. We used to love Charlie Chaplin. And because we had this portion of day where we would watch Three Stooges, and then they would show Charlie Chaplin. Then I think it was Lauren Hardy, you know, those type of things. And we would just love Charlie Chaplin. Matter of fact, Michael loved him so much. One of the first things he learned how to sketch was Charlie Chaplin.
That's so cool. And I mean, the funny thing is when Michael came to visit, he came to visit the house twice, once before you and once after you. And I remember, I mean, at that time, I was such a huge Jackson's fan and a Michael Jackson fan, and I had posters of him all in my wall, and I had no idea he was even coming, you know. And he walked into my room, and he just looked around, and he went, "Oh wow." No clue. And then I'm standing there like, "Oh, this is Michael Jackson. I can't believe it."
Do you have any photos of that?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we have photos all around. I'm going to find some and I'll send it to you. How was it being with Michael? So if you saw Michael Jackson work in a studio.
Michael was phenomenal to work with. All the brothers are actually, but Michael was also, he had a touch of, I would say, genius in and musically inclined. He can make the worst songs sound good. He's just one of those type of artists, you know. No matter how bad your song was, you knew if Michael touched it, there's gonna be something special about it.
No, amazing. And so because you're performing as the Jacksons again, how is it being on the road with everyone and performing those songs for you?
Well, I enjoy performing, period, whether it's with myself or my sons or the Jacksons. But it's always great to do the earlier music, you know, the Jackson classics. And they just never get old to the audience. So that's a great thing and a great feeling, you know, when you can sing a song that you recorded a half a century ago and it still get a great response today, you know.
Amazing. No, that's really cool. Thank you so much, Tito.
Thanks for the interview.
No, thank you.
God bless
Tito.
you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And take care.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Bye, Spencer.